In a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forest, there lived a young woman named Esther. Esther was the eldest of 5 siblings and bore the weight of responsibility from a very young age. Her father, a hardworking farmer, and her mother, a dedicated homemaker, struggled to make ends meet. Despite their efforts, life in the village was not easy, and opportunities for advancement were scarce. Esther was a bright and ambitious girl. She excelled in her studies and dreamt of one day becoming a doctor. She envisioned herself wearing a white coat, helping the sick, and bringing pride to her family. However, fate had different plans. When Esther was just 16, her mother fell gravely ill. The burden of caring for the household fell on her shoulders. She had to make a choice between her education and her family, and with a heavy heart, she chose the latter. Every morning, Esther would rise before the first light of dawn to help her father in the fields. She worked tirelessly, her hands becoming rough and calloused from the labor. The village school, once a place of joy and learning, became a distant memory. Esther's siblings, too young to understand the gravity of their situation, relied on her for everything. She cooked, cleaned, and ensured they attended school, always putting their needs before her own. As the years passed, Esther's sacrifices grew. She had no time for herself, no moments of rest or relaxation. Her dreams of education faded into the background as she dedicated herself entirely to her family's well-being. The villagers often spoke of her selflessness and admired her dedication, but admiration did not put food on the table. Her siblings, unaware of the full extent of her sacrifices, began to flourish. Sam, her younger brother, showed remarkable aptitude in his studies. He dreamed of becoming an engineer and winning a scholarship to study abroad. Amma, her sister, discovered a talent for sewing and aspired to start her own clothing business. Despite the hard work, Esther found solace in the small moments of joy with her family. She cherished the laughter of her siblings, the warmth of their hugs, and the hope that her sacrifices would lead to a better future for them. Her father, though grateful, often looked at her with a mix of pride and sorrow, knowing the burden she carried. Her mother's health fluctuated, with brief periods of improvement followed by debilitating relapses. Esther became proficient in caring for her, learning about herbal remedies and traditional healing methods from the village elders. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the village, Esther's life took a darker turn. She had just finished preparing dinner when a loud knock echoed through the small house. Opening the door, she found herself face to face with John, a local young man known for his charm and smooth talking. John had taken an interest in Esther, and despite her initial reluctance, she found herself drawn to him. John promised Esther the world. He spoke of love, companionship, and a future together. Esther, weary from years of solitude and longing for affection, let her guard down. One night, under the cover of darkness, she gave herself to John, sacrificing her virginity in the hope of finding happiness. But as the dawn broke, John vanished, leaving Esther heartbroken and betrayed. Esther's world began to crumble. Her family, who had always leaned on her strength, now turned against her. Whispers of her indiscretion spread through the village like wildfire. Her siblings, once grateful for her sacrifices, looked at her with disdain. Sam, who had returned from his studies abroad, could not bear the shame she had brought upon the family. Amma, now a successful businesswoman, distanced herself from Esther, fearing the impact on her reputation. Esther was left alone, abandoned by those she had given everything for. The villagers, who once admired her, now shunned her. She became an outcast, struggling to make ends meet. Her dreams of education, love, and a better life lay in ruins. Each day was a battle for survival, and each night was filled with tears and regret. The rejection from her family cut Esther deeply. She had always believed that her sacrifices would be recognized and appreciated, but now she felt like a pariah. Sam, her younger brother, who had once looked up to her as a role model, could not forgive what he saw as a betrayal of the family's honor. He returned to his studies abroad, refusing to speak to Esther. Amara, the younger sister, whose business was flourishing, felt that associating with Esther would tarnish her newfound success. Esther's other siblings were too young to fully understand the situation, but they sensed the tension and grew distant. Esther's father, caught between his love for his daughter and the societal pressures, withdrew into himself, offering little support. The village elders, who had once praised Esther for her dedication, now avoided her, adding to her sense of isolation. Esther's days became a monotonous struggle for survival. She took on menial jobs in the village, working as a laborer in the fields or as a maid in wealthier households. The once vibrant and hopeful young woman was now a shadow of her former self. Her hands, once soft and skilled in cooking and caring, became rough and bruised from hard labor. Her spirit, once filled with dreams, was now weighed down by the harsh reality of her circumstances. Just when Esther thought she could bear no more, a ray of hope appeared. An old woman named Mama Yuka, known for her wisdom and kindness, took Esther under her wing. Mama Uka had seen the cruelty of the world and recognized the strength in Esther. She offered Esther a place to stay and taught her the art of traditional medicine. Under Mama Yuka's guidance, Esther began to rebuild her life. She learned the secrets of healing herbs and natural remedies. Slowly, the villagers started to see Esther in a new light. She became known as a healer, a beacon of hope in times of illness and despair. Her reputation spread beyond the village, and people came from far and wide seeking her help. Mama Yuka's hut, nestled at the edge of the village, became a place of refuge for Esther. The old woman, with her deep knowledge of herbs and ancient healing practices, saw potential in Esther. She taught her how to identify medicinal plants, prepare healing concoctions, and perform rituals that had been passed down through generations. Esther, eager to learn and desperate to find a new purpose, absorbed the knowledge with gratitude. As Esther's skills grew, so did her confidence. She began to see herself not as a victim of circumstance, but as a healer with the power to bring change. Her healing abilities earned her respect, and slowly, the villagers' attitudes towards her began to shift. They came to her for treatment, trusting her wisdom and compassion. Esther found fulfillment in helping others, and the gratitude of those she healed became a balm for her wounded soul. Years passed, and Esther's life took a positive turn. She found solace in her work and strength in her newfound purpose. One day, a stranger arrived at her doorstep, weak and in need of care. To Esther's shock, it was John. He was a shadow of his former self, ravaged by illness and regret. Esther faced a choice: to turn him away or to heal him. Drawing on her inner strength and compassion, Esther chose to heal John. As she nursed him back to health, he confessed his wrongdoings and begged for her forgiveness. Esther's heart was heavy with the weight of her past, but she found it within herself to forgive him. Through this act of kindness, she freed herself from the chains of bitterness and pain. John's return to the village brought mixed reactions. Some saw it as a chance for redemption, while others viewed it with suspicion. Esther's decision to care for him was met with both admiration and criticism. But Esther remained steadfast, knowing that her healing powers were not just for the body, but also for the soul. As John's health improved, he sought to make amends, helping Nene in her work and showing genuine remorse for his actions. Esther's story of sacrifice, betrayal, and redemption became a legend in the village. Her siblings, now older and wiser, sought her forgiveness and tried to make amends. Sam, who had achieved great success, used his influence to support Esther's work. Amma, filled with remorse, became her closest ally. The family, once broken, slowly began to heal. Esther's life was far from what she had imagined in her youth, but she found fulfillment in ways she had never expected. She became a symbol of resilience and strength, an inspiration to all who knew her story. Her sacrifices were not in vain, and her spirit remained unbroken. As the village flourished, so did Esther's healing practice. Her name became known far and wide, and people traveled great distances to seek her help. The once small and modest hut of Momayuka expanded into a well-respected clinic, where Esther trained others in the art of traditional medicine. She took in young apprentices, passing on the knowledge she had acquired, ensuring that the healing traditions would continue. Esther's legacy lived on long after she was gone. Her story was told to generations, a testament to the power of sacrifice, forgiveness, and unwavering strength. The village, once filled with whispers of her disgrace, now echoed with tales of her greatness. Esther had become more than a healer, she was a legend, a beacon of hope for all who faced adversity. And so, the story of Esther, the woman who gave everything for her family and rose above her trials, remained etched in the hearts and minds of the villagers. Her name became synonymous with courage and compassion, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, light can be found. The sacrifices she made were not forgotten, and her spirit of resilience and kindness continued to inspire future generations. As the years went by, a small statue was erected in the village square in Esther's honor. It depicted her holding a bundle of herbs, a symbol of her healing powers and her enduring legacy. Children grew up hearing her story, learning about the importance of sacrifice, forgiveness, and the strength that comes from within. Esther's life, though marked by hardship, ultimately became a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of the human spirit. Many years after Esther's passing, the village held an annual festival in her honor. During the festival, stories of her life were retold, songs were sung, and dances were performed to celebrate her legacy. The festival became a time for reflection and gratitude, reminding the villagers of the values Esther embodied. One of the most powerful aspects of Esther's story was her ability to forgive those who had wronged her. This lesson resonated deeply with many who heard her story. It showed that true strength lies not in holding on to anger and bitterness, but in letting go and finding peace within oneself. John, who had been given a second chance by Esther, continued to live in the village. He dedicated his life to helping others, trying to make up for his past mistakes. His transformation was a testament to the impact of Esther's forgiveness and the power of redemption. He became a respected member of the community, and his story, intertwined with Esther's, served as a reminder of the potential for change and growth. As the years went by, Esther's descendants carried on her legacy. Her nieces and nephews, inspired by her story, pursued careers in medicine, education, and community service. They were driven by the desire to honor her memory and continue her work. The village clinic grew into a well-established hospital, offering modern medical treatments alongside traditional healing practices. Esther's story also influenced the younger generation to value education and self-sacrifice. Schools in the village taught about her life, emphasizing the importance of resilience, compassion, and the pursuit of one's dreams. Her legacy became a guiding light for many, encouraging them to overcome challenges and strive for a better future. Esther's story, though rooted in a small village, had a far-reaching impact. Her life became a symbol of hope, strength, and the power of the human spirit. She showed that even in the face of adversity, one can find purpose and make a difference. Her sacrifices, though painful, led to a legacy of love, forgiveness, and healing. As the villagers gathered each year to celebrate her memory, they were reminded of the enduring power of her story. Esther's life was a testament to the idea that no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Her spirit lived on in the hearts of those she touched, an eternal flame that continued to inspire and guide future generations. Thank you for watching. Please, subscribe to my channel, watch all my videos, comment and turn on your notification bell for more amazing stories. See you next time.